What's up guys, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and we've got the brand new 2020 MacBook Air in the house. Nice and early, SuperSaf style, so a thumbs up for that would be appreciated. This was just announced a couple of days ago. Let's go ahead, get it unboxed and take a closer look. So the box and branding, very similar to what we've had in previous years. You can see the side profile of the MacBook Air. Let's open. So plastic off. There we go. Now you can see here that I've got the gold version. There is also a space gray as well as a silver version available. And as well as a MacBook Air, inside the box you do get a USB Type-C to USB Type-C cable. You get some paperwork which does include some gold Apple stickers. I love it when things are color coordinated. And then we've got a 30-watt charger. So that's everything that you get inside the box. Let's get to the MacBook Air. Plastic off, and here we have it, the 2020 MacBook Air. In terms of the design, it looks very similar to the previous generation. So we've got the mirror Apple logo, and this is made with 100% recycled aluminium. So huge thumbs up for that. I like that the environment has been considered when putting this together. I think it saves like 47% in terms of carbon emissions. So that's really good. And size-wise, it's also very similar to the last generation MacBook Air. So the height and the width is very similar, although this is slightly thicker and it's also slightly heavier. So it's around 1.29 kg compared to around 1.25 kg that we had last time. So still very light overall. Now it is slightly thicker because we've got one big improvement this year, and that is the keyboard. So this keyboard now has the new scissor mechanism that we saw introduced on the MacBook Pro 16-inch, and it feels so much better. You've got around 1mm of key travel. Now the previous generation butterfly keyboard did get a lot of criticism, but it looks like Apple is now completely phasing that out, and they are now adopting this scissor mechanism keyboard. And I can tell you from personal experience of using the 16-inch MacBook Pro for a good few months now that the typing experience on this keyboard is really good, and I think that's something that a lot of people will appreciate. We've also got the inverted T arrow keys, something else that a lot of people wanted, so you can easily feel those there without having to look. The trackpad is a force touch trackpad and it works really well as expected. Now let's take a look at the display. So as far as I can tell, the display is similar to what we've had in the previous generation. So it's the 13.3-inch Retina Display with True Tone technology. It's got around a 227 ppi pixel density, and it's got 400 nits of brightness. It's a really good display overall. The bezels are not as small as what we've got on, say, the MacBook Pro. But what's really special, what's had a massive improvement, is on the inside. So this is the base model, which starts at £999 or $999. And this comes with a 1.1 GHz dual-core 10th gen Intel Core i3 processor, 8 GB of LPDDR4X RAM, Intel Iris Plus graphics, and 256 GB of SSD storage. So that's actually double the storage on the base model compared to what we had in the previous generation at a lower price point. And you can get lots of different configurations, of course. You can get either an i5 or even up to a quad-core i7 processor, up to 16 GB of RAM, and up to 2 TB of storage. Of course, those are going to be at higher prices. Now for performance, that is going to mean that you've got up to 2 times faster performance for the CPU and up to 80% faster graphics. So that's definitely quite impressive. And I think what's most impressive for me is that the MacBook Air now also supports the Apple Pro XDR display. So that's like a 6K display that you're going to be able to plug in to your MacBook Air. Now for ports, we just have a 3.5mm jack as well as 2 USB Type-C Thunderbolt 3 ports. So this is the same as what we've had previously. And then we've got a Touch ID button here on the top right hand side of the keyboard. Works really well, works with Apple Pay as well. For the speakers, we do have stereo speakers along here. They do have 25% more volume and 2 times more bass compared to the previous generation. Of course, they're not on the same level as the MacBook Pro, which in my opinion has the best speakers, but these are pretty good. What's not pretty good in my opinion is that we've still got the 720p FaceTime HD camera. I've been doing lots more conference calls recently, especially considering the situation, and that's just something that I wish Apple would upgrade. Well, it's still 720p. I'm sure it's going to be okay for most people. And for the battery, we do have a 49.9 watt hour battery, which should get you through most usage. Of course, that's going to vary depending on what you're doing. If you're doing some general web browsing and Word documents, it's going to last you longer. If you're doing image editing, video editing, then it's going to chew through it much faster. And it's something that I'm going to have to spend some more time with. Now, for pricing, as mentioned, it does start at £999 or $999. There is an educational discount, so in the US it's $899, and as mentioned, that is a pretty competitive price point for Apple, especially when you consider that the previous MacBook Air was priced higher and it had half the storage. So I think this is going to be very popular for students, and I think that's kind of what this is targeted to as well. If you're somebody who's going to college or university and you are in the Apple ecosystem, then I think this is probably going to be a really good option. That's what I think. What do you guys think? Definitely let me know in the comments below. Is there any other further coverage that you'd like me to do with the 2020 MacBook Air? Also, let me know. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. And if you want to see more coverage here on the channel, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of it. There's going to be the iPad Pro 2020 coverage coming soon as well, so you definitely don't want to miss that. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.